Welcome back, mercenaries, and we're doing another episode of Battletech. Today we're going to be talking about customization and, just some of that stuff that, there's been a lot of combat stuff, and I want to get into some of the logistics. Customization's a really, really important part of Battletech. Possibly the most, I don't know if it's the most important part, but it could compete. But it's what it definitely is the most recognized part of Battletech. No matter what Battletech game you play, there is going to be a lot of customization. Like, that's what Battletech, it's the main thing. Anyways, I want to welcome another mech warrior. So, hold on, so let's go through everything.
They will be done.
So, Thomas Hicks says he has a little more hair in real life, so I grew his hair out slightly. Not a whole lot more. Welcoming Jace Harvest, who I have given the call sign Drake because of his avatar or his gamer picture, whatever, the YouTube game picture, whatever you want to call that.
Yep.
I also changed Trey Graypaw's call sign to Lobo. Lobo is the Portuguese word for wolf. I decided, because I was going to call him maybe like Grey Wolf or something, but I'm like, no, I want something with fewer syllables. And I want it to be a little more exotic, and so I went with this. And I can make modifications to the character. Remember, the customizations are fairly limited. That said, we can continue upgrading, trying to get everybody's basic training done.
Commander.
Yeah, over here we can... Let's just continue, like... I'm not too worried about it. Let's just get some of these basic skills done, like this.
Mech warrior training complete.
Pretty soon everyone is going to be trained in Bulwark. Like, I think that's the best skill for the campaign. Anyways, so today we're going to talk about customizations. This is customization's really in-depth. There's not just the customization of the battle mech, but there's also the customization of your lance. In this game, you're only able to deploy one lance, so at best you can deploy 4 mechs. And because the enemy can deploy more mechs than you, it's very important that you make these guys as effective as possible. Like, so your team of 4 has to potentially defeat a team of 8, or 2 teams of 4, rather. So, what we've got here is the Quickdraw, and we've got the Centurion. We won these as salvage for completing the mission, and then we have our original 4. Now, let's talk a little bit about how you understand battle mechs. Battle mechs, I don't know if I talked about this, so I'll just go over it again, just so I can completely make sure I know that I talked about it. So, battle mechs typically weigh between 20 and 100 tons, and they go in multiples of 5. Like, you're not going to see something like 17 tons or like 32 tons. They're always going to be in multiples of 5, and there are mechs that are lighter than 20 tons. There are mechs that are heavier than 100, but you're not going to see them in the game. I can't think of any game that features battle mechs lighter than 20 tons or heavier than 100. Now, just like in boxing, your people are distributed by their body weight. Mechs are distributed by their mech weight. And so there are 4 weight classes. You have the light class, which is 20 to 35 tons. The medium class, which is 40 to 55 tons. The heavy class, which is 60 to 75. And then the assault class, which is 80 to 100. So assault mechs are the biggest and the heaviest. And then descending, you've got heavy, medium, and then light. So the Quickdraw here is a 60-ton. You can tell it's a 60-ton. It's got this number right here in the top right corner. It is a 60-ton heavy mech. It's just the beginning of the heavy mech class. The mechs at the very edge of each kind of bleed into each other. So despite this being a heavy mech, it is likely to behave more akin to a medium mech. On the flip side, the Shadowhawk is a 55-ton medium mech, and that's right at the border of a medium and a heavy mech, so this thing can be expected to play some of the role of a heavy mech. And then you got things like the Centurion, which is a little more in the middle. You've got the Vindicator, 45-ton, also a little more like slightly below average in the middle. The Blackjack also 45 tons, and then our Spider, which is a heavier light mech at 30 tons. So, the Quickdraw and the Centurion, they didn't come with any weapons, so we need to customize them, and that's why this is the perfect episode to discuss customization. And I know for sure that the Centurion is going to become our Juggernaut mech, or our point mech. A Juggernaut mech is basically the thickest, most heavily armored mech that prefers armor over other things, and it's designed to lead the attack. It's designed to draw the attention of the enemy. Hopefully, I mean, they could obviously ignore it, but it's going to run up into the front and get shot at. That's its job, and not die. Another term for these mechs is a zombie mech. Is basically, think of something that just gets pounded and it just doesn't go down. Now, this mech is in its default stock config, so there's our vocab board. Stock refers to the configuration the mech comes in from the factory, from the maker, from the designer. Because in Battletech, let's go over here to Sarna again. Battletech Sarna. If you thought Battletech was detailed, let's add. Now, you don't need to know any of this, but let's just go into that, and let's also get a look at the old Centurion. Here we go. So here's what the old Centurion looks like. Very skinny and tall compared to this one here. This version of the Centurion much wider, but you could tell they kept some of the designs, like the little thing that's supposed to kind of resemble the Roman Centurion plume, the Roman Centurion helmet. That stuff there, the little plume on top of their head, that's what that's supposed to resemble. But let's see if they talk about who the yeah, so there's the different manufacturers of this battle mech: Korean Enterprises, Jalistar Aerospace, Marion Arms, Alpha Trading Corporation. So yes, they even have the names of the arms manufacturer companies, kind of like, Lockheed Martin, McDonnell Douglas. In that, those would be real life examples. You don't need to know that though, but just to show you, they think of as much as they can in this game. But these guys, this is the weapon config that it comes in, and if you want to know what the weapons are, you just click this button. Well, why is this medium laser here? Get that medium laser. Let's make it completely naked. But this is what the original weapons are. If it came fresh out of the factory, it would have 2 medium lasers, an AC-10, 2 tons of AC-10 ammo. Each ton has 8 rounds, so it has 16 rounds. And then it's got an LRM-10 with 2 tons of ammo, so it's a very sustainable mech that's quite a bit of ammo and whatnot. So, overall, it has pretty good armament tonnage. So we have 23 tons of weaponry that we can mess around with, or armor. But one of the things I don't like about it is that its armor is too thin. It only has 680 armor, which is okay for a medium mech, but it's not okay for the frontline mech. I want about 800 armor, so the first thing I'm going to do, because I know that this is going to be a frontline mech, because it's also a little slow. 200 meters, that is... It's not slow, but it's not fast. Like, medium mechs typically can go faster than that, but that's what it tells me, because this thing has more weapon space than usual, and it's slower, it's just telling me this is more of a battle mech, like there's more of a duke it out with the enemy kind of mech. So let's add 1 ton of armor. We'll go down to 22 armor. Let's tighten up the center torso a little bit. Let's see. Let's keep focusing on boosting the center torso and the side torso, because if the center torso is destroyed, then the whole mech is toast. So we just put 1 ton of armor on, and that brings us up to 760, so I'm going to add 1 more ton of armor on. I think I'm just going to max the center torso armor out. Let's get up to about 100 on each, and then I'm going to add a little bit on the legs. Just like that. So now we just added 2 tons of armor, we're down to 21, and so our armor is now 840. 840 armor is well above average for a medium mech. A medium mech with 840 armor, that's unusually heavy. This is what 840 armor is more common to the early heavy mechs, so that's good. So now I know that this mech is capable of withstanding a huge amount of damage for a mech of its size. So now I want to think about because this is going to be a more close-range mech, so let's look at what's in the store. The store isn't really selling much in the way of weaponry, which is kind of annoying. So we're going to have to mainly use what we have. So I'm going to give it an AC5, and I'm going to give it 1 ton of AC5 ammo. Let me see what missiles I have available. I'm going to give it an LRM-10 and 1 ton of LRM-10 ammo. And I'm probably going to leave it at that because 1 ton of LRM ammo is 120 missiles. So it shoots 10 missiles at a time, so this can fire 12 times before it runs out, and I think that's okay. I don't think we'll run out of ammo, and if we do, we can always add an extra ton on. So I'm going to add in a small laser, I think. I'm going to add in 2 medium lasers. And can I fit in a SRM-6? No, I don't think we... Yeah, okay, if we remove the small laser... Okay, so this is what we got. This looks... The mech is a little bit on the hot side, but... I think that's okay. I don't think that we're... I don't think this is the... Although... We could just try it as it is. So this mech doesn't have any heat sinks. It just has the mech's built-in heat. So our heat efficiency isn't super great, but at the same time, what we can do is just shoot the AC-5 and the SRM-6 and not shoot our other weapons. So, like, I'm still debating whether I like this design or not. Let me try... What if I go with the large laser here? And then a medium laser, and then 2 heat sinks. Yeah, I think I like this one better. So this one lost a little bit of its long-range capability, which could... I mean, not necessarily. We've got an AC-5 and a large laser. That's decent range, so I'm going to accept that. I think this mech is fine the way it is. Now, the next mech... I've saved a discussion about hardpoints.
Let you know when that's done.
So I talked about a little bit about armor, a little bit about tonnage. So now we're going to talk about hardpoints after we examine this mech, and I'll tell you why I'm going to customize the way that I do. So this is our biggest mech, 60 tons. The first thing I do is I look at the armor. The stock armor is 640. That is very low for a mech of its size. Very low. In fact, if you saw a Quickdraw, you'd probably want to shoot at it first because it's a pretty big mech and its armor is surprisingly low. So then I'm going to look at the movement speed. 240 meters per second. That's very fast. Or I don't know if that's per second, but 240 meters. That's really fast for a mech of this size. That's the speed of a swifter medium mech. And this is a heavy mech, so that's already kind of giving me an idea of the mech's characteristic, that this is supposed to be a high-speed attacker. And what this also tells me is that this mech probably isn't going to have the most weapon capacity for its size because its engine is so big. We can't customize the engine in this game. In the other Battletech games, you can customize the engine typically, but that just means the engine is a constant. Now I'm going to talk about the hard points. The first thing I notice is that this only has 21 tons of available weaponry to customize. If you think about the Centurion had 23 tons, but the mech itself was 10 tons lighter, and so that tells me immediately that this mech probably has less weaponry than is average. So it's a little bit on the... Basically... A lot of the mech's tonnage is being taken up by its engine that's propelling it to the surprisingly quick 240 meters. The next thing, though, we're going to talk about is hardpoints. You can't just put weapons wherever you want on a battle mech, and you can't put whatever weapons you want on a battle mech. You must obey the hardpoints. The easiest way to understand hardpoints is, let's go over to the... Yo, man, are you listening to me? I said, yo, man. This mech is not in Battletech, but... This particular mech, the Yo-Man, It's so obvious what it does that you don't need to know anything about Battletech to guess what this mech does. If I asked you, what kind of weapon do you think the Yo-Man is going to shoot? I believe most of you are going to say it probably shoots missiles. And that's because, well, it's a missile mech. That's pretty much the reason right there. Anyways, so this mech, believe it or not, has missile hardpoints. And so the way a hardpoint works is you can change any weapon in a hardpoint to a weapon of the same type. So in this case, missiles. Don't even think about putting guns or lasers in there. You can have more missiles, less missiles, bigger missiles, smaller missiles, long-range missiles, short-range missiles. You can put all the missiles you want as long as it's missiles. And that's how hardpoints work. So for lasers, bigger lasers, smaller lasers, doesn't matter. That's how hardpoints work. Now, what we have here are 4 laser hardpoints, or energy hardpoints, since PPC is an energy weapon, it's not considered a laser. And we have 2 missile hardpoints. And what this immediately tells me... Well, first let's look at the stock config. Stock config for this web mech is that it has 4 medium lasers, an LRM-10, and an SRM-4. One way to look at this is that it has the same weaponry of the 35-ton Jenner, because the Jenner also has 4 medium lasers and an SRM-4, but it also has the LRM-10. And overall, I don't agree with how this mech is designed. The way I see it is, this mech is probably designed to be a close-range mech. It also has 5 jump ports, which is 1 more jump port than I would expect a heavy mech to have. Normally, I would expect them to have 4. The more jump jets you have, the farther you can jump. So what this tells me is that this is probably supposed to be a close combat mech, but there's no way that I'm going to send a close combat mech into battle with 640 armor. Now, if this was a light mech, 640 armor would be insane, but this is a heavy mech. So the first thing we're going to do, let's add a ton of... literally 1 ton of armor onto the mech. Really want to strengthen the center torso up. Alright, so let's see what our armor is up to. 720. I think that's going to be good enough, because this is a lighter heavy mech, and this is going to be more of a shooter. Like, this isn't going to be the mech that leads the attack, this is going to be more of a shooter. That said, I'm not sure. So the next thing I know is that this mech doesn't get a whole lot of space for weaponry. So I want to think about being compact if possible. Unfortunately, we don't have any SRMs, so we're not... It looks like I'm not going to be able to do too much with this mech. We just don't have the weaponry available to make many customizations. I need bigger SRMs. I need SRM-6s to be more precise. So I'm just going to leave it as it is. Unfortunately, I was hoping to customize it here for you guys, but I'm just going to save the changes I made adding the armor, and we're just going to leave it as it is. I mean, this thing's going to take 23 days to build anyways. So the next thing we're going to do is we're allowed to move around more. I believe we're allowed to move anywhere within this kind of bubble that we're in. Yeah, we're not allowed to move into... Yeah, we're not allowed to move into any of the other territories. This is all neutral space, but we can go anywhere else over here. So over here, it tells us how much money we have to pay to make the travel, and it tells us how many days it's going to take to get there. So what I want to do is... So what I could do is search by planets that have different features, like a planet that was previously a major battlefield, a planet that has a lot of chemical industry, electronics industry, industrial in general, mining, research, and of course Star League tech. So that's always interesting. A planet that has Star League tech, but what I really want is a planet that has good industry. Apparently this planet that we're on has good industry, and that makes me want to double check the store, because what we're looking for are mods. I want mods. Okay, yeah, so they have a comm system here. I'll buy the comm system.
New equipment available.
And we'll go ahead and equip that to one of our mechs real quick. Nope, not mech warriors. Equip it to one of our mechs. Probably a long-range mech. Like the, this one here. Give it the comm system in the head. The comm system will help us gain morale quicker. What I really want, though, is...
Logged and noted. Shouldn't be too hard.
Cockpit mods. Those help you, those protect you against injuries. So what I want now is we're either going to go here or here. Let's go to this one. This one's a lower difficulty area. Although this one doesn't take as many days to get to. Let's do this one. It doesn't take, well... This one only... Well, it's going to take a while for our mech to be completed anyways. So, some of you may be tempted to go to this planet because there's a travel contract, meaning they would pay for our taxi service, but I'm going to go straight for the good stuff. So right over here, you can see this planet has a manufacturing center, and that's what I want. So I'm going to go ahead and set a course here, pay the 90,000 sea bills, and by the time we get there, our battle mech should be repaired. Now, the thing is, as we travel there, I can still... Oh, got a random event. Organize chaos. In the morning briefing, Yang jumps in. Commander, the Leopard is too small. My mech techs keep tripping over everything. Chief, we've talked about this, Darius says in exasperation. We can't exactly knock down any walls. Sumire inserts herself. What if we move some supplies into other parts of the Leopard? The bunks, the kitchen, hell. I'll even store some boxes in the cockpit if it'll help. Yeah, if I had some breathing room for a week, I could reorganize and make room for everything to move back. Well, right now we don't really need additional mech tech stuff because I believe that's what this is going to be about. I'm just going to tell Yang to make do. Chief, we're all trying to make things work in less than ideal conditions. I hate to say it, but you'll just need to tough it out for now. Yang looks like he might argue the point further, but as he strokes his scraggly beard, he gets a thoughtful look in his eyes. Maybe. That's interesting. I've never tried this option before. Darius says, if it helps, I'll tell the mech warriors not to get shot in the next contract. How about that? That gets a chuckle from the room, and you know the leadership team is going to get through the latest rough patch for now. Now, the reason for this is, if I move stuff around, I'd probably get some faster mech progress, but we're on such a long journey that it's not going to matter anyways. Like, this Centurion will be done by the time we get to Bethranka. Anyways, so as we dock with the jump ship, and the jump ship takes us around, I'm still able to check what contracts and what stuff is available at the store between each jump, which I'll now be able to demonstrate. Make me a dang soda after all that talking, though. Oh, man. Alright, so here's our first jump. We're going to pause, and now what we can do is look at what the planet is offering. Let's check the store. I mainly want to see what battle mechs they're selling. A Thunderbolt would be pretty interesting, but that would cost a ton of money. We don't have the cash for it right now. Weapons. Let's see what missiles they're selling. They're not selling big SRMs, which is unfortunate. They are selling pretty big LRMs, though. But I don't think I want to detach from the dropship and fly to the planet to buy it, because we can't buy from here. We actually have to fly to the, Oh, let's sell this Locust. We can't sell it until we get to the planet as well. So, I'm gonna unpause and let the days tick by, and we'll see what we get at the next jump. But yeah, you can see what's for sale, but you would actually have to detach from the jump ship and fly to the orbit of the planet. Alright, once again, we'll pause and see what's going on. Okay, let's see what's at the store. Trebuchet is tempting. That's a pretty good battle mech to start picking up the pieces towards. What do you got here? What about weapons? Selling a decent quality PPC, a better one too, 15 stability. That's what makes the PPC decent, is if you can get an enhanced PPC with added stability damage, which is what's used to knock enemy mechs over. We can also check the contracts to see if maybe there's like an awesome contract we would want to depart from, but I think we'll just continue along our way to the, I believe it'll be the next jump. I believe this is our stop coming up. Yep, so we depart from the jump ship and now we start... Oh, here we go. On your way to the Leopard's galley, You run into Sumire, heading the same way. Commander, it's been a long week. I know I can't make more hours in the day, but I can make coffee. When you enter the cramped galley, you see Big Mac and Glitch in a tense standoff in front of the empty coffee pot. Big Mac sees you. Commander, this is the last coffee. The Exo says we won't have any more until the next supply run. Glitch shoves her way forward. I got here first, and he almost stole it while I was looking for my favorite mug. So I could either take the coffee for myself, which I don't need to. I could split the coffee between them. I'm just going to give it to Sumire, the pilot. We definitely want the pirate running at maximum capability. So, exasperated, you squeeze your way past them into the galley, pouring out the last of the coffee. You hand the steaming cup to Sumire. Turning to the crestfallen mech warriors, don't pout. If you bring back your mech with all its limbs intact, we'll have plenty of sea bills for more coffee. Now get to your bunks and get your heads in the game. After they leave, Sumire sighs contentedly into her coffee. Thanks, I needed this. Now excuse me, I need to go discuss shopping priorities with Darius. So Glitch and Big Mac get 14 days of low spirits, which is not a big deal. It just means that when they use their morale abilities, they use more morale up. But we don't use morale abilities too frequently anyways, because we don't have enough morale-producing options. So here we are at Mathranka. Let's always check our shopping. So here's a backer. This is a guy here, you can tell by the flag right here, Kickstarter backer. That's like I said, this game was crowdfunded. So these ones here are the backers who paid I don't know how much money they had to pay, but if they contributed enough money, they got to become a pilot. I won't be using any of them though, since I'll be creating my own pilots in this one. Let's see what battle mechs they're selling. Once again, the Thunderbolt's interesting, but just too expensive. Here we go. We got a cockpit mod, I'll take it. And a comm system, I'll take it. Oh, looks like they got two comm systems, I'll take them both.
New equipment
Get some nice accessories. They don't sell any weapons here, though, just ammo, so it looks like our Quickdraw still will just have to go incomplete. Let's go ahead and add... We definitely want to add in the cockpit mod onto this mech, because this is the mech that leads the attack.
On it. I'll let you know when that's done.
And we'll go ahead and add in a comm system here.
Right. I'll get it in the scan.
And we'll add a comm system over here. Now, the way that cockpit mod works, and now we're just going to wait it out. Wait for all of these things to complete their repairs. So the way the cockpit mod works is the pilot will ignore the first injury they get, but after that, further injuries will give them further injuries will injure them. Now, if you get a higher quality cockpit mod, it can resist more injuries. Okay, so let's complete today's episode actually doing a mission. We can send our brand new battle mech in there and see how we perform. Let's look for a like a battle, just want a good old head-to-head fight. Here we go, a tundra battle, 1.5 stars. Oh, they're paying pretty high, so this could actually be a pretty hazardous mission. Like they might not be giving us the best intel. We'll see though. Like actually that kind of makes me worried why they're paying so well for this mission. It always makes me feel like they're holding out on me. Anyways, I like this split right here. 3 pick salvage, 13 random salvage. That sounds really good. Plus we get almost basically 350,000. That's pretty good. Let's pull all these mechs out. We're gonna go in pretty heavy, so let's go in with this. I don't think I'm going to bring a scout, just because I am concerned that we are going to have a problem with the quantity of enemies might be high. So let's just get some people in here. Let's allow... Who needs to level up? Big Mac can sit it out just because he's a little more leveled up. Let's let some of the other guys get in here. And that looks good to me. I'll pilot the Centurion since I am the guy who has the best defense. And yeah, we'll probably need to redesign our Shadowhawk as well. Our Shadowhawk won't need as much armor since the Centurion is now taking its place. And I might redesign the weaponry on the Shadowhawk to be a little more long range or mid range. Okay, so this one is just a death match. This particular random mission is just us versus them. Somewhere between 4 and 8 enemies. Could be 4 tough enemies or 8
Command
weaker
interface
enemies. We'll find out, though. This is the place. Time to start the party, Commander. Our targets should be somewhere in the vicinity. Let's hit them hard and get them all looking in our direction. Oh, and remember, there will likely be reinforcements. Okay. So it's probably going to be 2 lances of light mechs and maybe some medium mechs. The first thing I want to do is look at where I want to fight these guys. My battle mech must stay inside cover in order to withstand the damage. So I'm probably going to want to fight here. And this area here looks like a pretty good battlefield. So let's just head up the road, honestly. The Shadowhawk will kind of hang off to the side. The Blackjack is going to go over here. And same with the Vindicator.
Got it.
Okay, same thing. I'm going to move forward. Okay, enemy contact. That's fine. Let's start getting into position. Looks like we're going to need 2 turns to get into position.
On my way.
I don't mind if the Shadowhawk is out of cover right now, just because it moves pretty fast. Like, it's, despite not being a light mech, that's a decent amount of evasion.
On the move.
Interesting, one of them's in the water. And like I said, we want to kind of get into position right now. Get into these trees for cover. Okay, we got a Panther. That's a light mech, but it is a combat-focused light mech, so it could take a beating by a light mech standards. So they're taking shots at Mad Cat, but like I said, the evasion's pretty high, so... Another Panther, that's what's in the water. The Panther's going to be stuck in the water for a few turns, because...
What's up, boss?
In exchange for it being a fairly heavy-duty medium mech, it's a very slow mech. Or light mech. Let's see, I'm going to move right here, just to kind of be the target. Don't like my aim, my accuracy right now, but we'll take some shots on this one.
All weapons.
Not bad. Not sure what I hit, but I think it's his leg that I beat up.
Damage detected.
Here comes a PPC. Oh, man. More misses.
Got eyes on hostile reinforcements.
Okay, so the reinforcements are here. So it looks like they're going to try to overwhelm us with their numbers.
Orders?
Which is a very realistic possibility. Like, that could definitely happen. I think I'm going to allow... creep up a little bit further. I think I'm okay with that. Because I want to get that better accuracy. Possibly get the Panther's leg. No. But we did break through its armor on a different location. We got its right
Commander.
torso, which is fine. We're in a Arctic climate, so that means I can actually push my mechs a little harder. They're going to cool down faster. Well, let's see if we can get his arm. Okay, we got his arm. Great shooting too. Like, that was a 65% chance to hit. Like, that definitely could have that could have easily have been a miss. Do I want Mad Cat to shoot, or do I want? I think I'm gonna have him fall back.
Let's move.
Like, he detected the enemies. He's kind of working. Like, the Shadowhawk is a really balanced mech. Like, it can play the role of a scout in a pinch. You know what? I'm gonna have them move over here. There's some trees over here they can take cover in. Those missiles are firing. It's so far away. The commando takes a shot, but my heavy cover, heavy armor, it's gonna... This Centurion's gonna take a lot of effort to bring down. And I'm pretty much just gonna sit here. Like, this mech is not gonna move around very much. Simply because there's not enough cover to move forward. And, I'm going to
Standing by.
switch to one of these mechs over here, see if I can get a visual on one of them. Looks like I can't. Once again, there's no reason not to jump just because we can handle the heat because it's such a cold climate. So the Panther that we banged up fell back quite a bit. We can't get a shot on him, so instead we're going to start working on this Commando. Because he's the only mech that's really exposed. Beautiful shooting again. I think I'm on fast motion too. Let me switch into slow motion. Whenever I'm playing on my own, I'm always in fast motion.
Commander?
Okay, let's get the, this mech doesn't have jump jets, so that's not an option. You know what? Okay, that's just barely an optimal range. Let's see, can we score some hits on this guy? That's a hit. 2 hits. Oh, great. Like that, there's no way the Commando can take much more of that. Yeah, the Commando's not feeling too good after that. Alright, I'm gonna take some shots at the Commando.
All weapons committed.
Got his arm. And his other arm, so this... I think his missiles are in his torso.
Enemy mech. Critical damage detected.
Let's see what weapons he has left. So he has his SRM-6, which is actually his main weapon still. Jump right over here. And we'll take a shot with the AC-5. That's a hit. Wow, I mean, our guys have great aim. They are landing their hits. What's the Commando gonna do? This mech is basically crippled. Falling back, it seems, but no kills. That's the thing that's annoying.
Sensors have something.
There's the Fresh Panther. Taking a shot. Finally scores a hit. Fortunately, the Shadowhawk is pretty well armored as well, so...
Commander?
That's not too big of a deal. I believe the Shadowhawk is going to have to move out of the way.
Location confirmed.
Let's get a little more height advantage. So I can shoot at the Commando, but he's honestly not that big of a threat. Let's start attacking the Panther.
Engage target.
Great shooting. Unfortunately, the other side of his body is where his PPC is. But, nevertheless, we still need to take shots at him. Okay, it looks like the Shadowhawk needs to move next. They're finally starting to find their aim.
Damage is light.
Let me see. So since he got hit with 2 PPCs, it means that his aim isn't going to be super great, because every successful hit of the PPC reduces your accuracy by, I think, 5%. Maybe I can draw some shots off over here, so I'm just going to hop over here, out of cover, but with a lot of evasion. And,
Engaging.
I'll save a little bit of heat here. Oh god, both of them hit. As I said, great. Our guys are shooting really well. I'm very happy with that. Now that the Shadowhawk is gone, I'm now standing where the Shadowhawk is. I can actually take a shot at him.
All weapons committed.
Leg. There we go. Man, look at these hits. Oh, we got his main weapon. Okay, so we've got 3 of the enemy mechs are really banged up. None of them are down, but they're really, really banged up. 65% aim. I'll take that. 265%. Missed with one, but hit with the other. Got his other arm.
Let's go.
And we're just like slicing all their arms off like it's State of Decay. What are you gonna do? Shoot your SRM-4, I guess?
Damage minimal.
Okay, got a Locust 1M. That's an extremely fragile mech. So I might try to knock it out real quick just because it's such a really, really light mech. There's the other Panther. Gets a successful hit on the Blackjack. The Commando coming forward. What are you going to do? Some missiles. But not a lot of damage
Light
there.
damage. Holding firm.
Okay, now it's our turn. I got a really clean shot on this Panther. I'm going to take the shot on the Panther.
All weapons committed.
Still not quite enough to bring it down. Like I said, the Panthers are... They're pretty tough by light mech standards.
Critical damage detected.
A Griffin. That's a medium mech. Similar to the Shadowhawk. I'm probably going to ignore it.
Damage minimal.
That'll probably be the last mech that we kill. I'm just going to walk right over here and completely ignore that Griffin, basically.
Roger.
And I'm going to take a shot on this Locust right over here. Because the Locust has 80 armor altogether, so any shot on this mech is devastating. And that's the end of it, just like that. That's why it pays to know the different mech variants.
Yeah.
To know what the weak point of their mechs are, or what the weak point of their enemy formation is. So this guy's got a lot of great shots. Let's go after the Panther right here, because he could fire all of his weapons here. This is going to be, if he hits, this is going to be a lot of damage. The leg goes down. Oh, he got him. Went through the side torso and hit the center torso.
Good to go.
Let's see, what are we going to do here? I really want to take a shot on these guys. What's our percentages? 55%? Can I get a better shot than that? 65... this is good enough. Let's see if we can finish this Panther off. Or the Commando. Let's go for the Commando, because its SRM-6 is still up. Okay, that's the end of them. Great shooting. That's another battle mech down. We're starting to thin them out now. The first Lance has lost 67% of their mechs, and the reinforcement Lance has lost 50%. So now it's an even fight since they've lost half of their forces.
I'm taking heavy hits, Commander.
No, you're not. What's your armor at? I guess technically you are. They just keep hitting his leg. Let's finish this mech off.
All weapons committed.
Unless nothing hits the torso? Wow, it's still up. This mech is zombieing the crap out of us right now. Well, we got his leg though, so that means someone can make a called shot. The Griffin comes up, probably to give him a good punch. Okay. Not enough to get through the armor though.
Yes, Commander.
Let's see if we can finish this guy off. Oh, wow, his armor's really... let's just make sure we hit. We'll fire with everything, just to absolutely be sure we connect. Okay, so one of the enemy lances has been destroyed.
Good to go.
Alright, you need to get into combat, so I'm just gonna... Well, let's see, what's your aim going to be? That's actually not bad, so I'm gonna have him walk over and use his large laser in LRM-10. Just to start getting some damage on this Griffin. This Griffin has like 700 and something armor, so it's going to take a little bit of effort to bring it down. Yeah, it's got 760 armor altogether. That's just a ton of armor. I think what I'm going to do is just jump away. And then I'm going to have him guard just to clear his stability. That'll ensure that nothing can knock him down. Okay, what is the Griffin gonna do? Looks like he's staying in cover. He's gonna miss. That's fine with me.
Orders?
Now it's time for you to get back into combat. Let's see about... Yeah, we'll move. Mad Cat's gonna go into close combat with him. still, like, even though we're a little close with the AC5, 45% chance that it's still decent.
Got it.
Oh, he hit. That's good. That was a good hit. He hit with everything. And now, okay, looks like I can't cross, so I'm just going to be shooting over this. And like I said, the mech that's like kind of the tank of the group doesn't do a lot of moving. They tend to just kind of sit around. And this mech is kind of our archer, so he's also going to do a lot of standing around. Okay. Great hits. Both of the AC5s hit.
Ready for orders.
It's going to take a while to get through this guy, though.
Firing.
The Griffin basically plays the same role as the Shadowhawk, just with different weapon choices. But overall is a very similar mech. Too close for the PPC, so he takes the minimum range penalty.
Ready for orders.
Let's go into close combat with him. We're going to start just beating the crap out of him.
On it.
Time to punch it out.
Putting my weight into it.
Or kick it out. That's also an option. Zap him with the... Zap! Zap him with that little small laser. And we're just going to keep shooting him.
Orders.
Keep shooting them.
Confirmed.
Oh, now we're catching some of our misses. One miss, one hit.
For orders.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to jump into the water.
Firing jump jets.
I want to get another mech into close combat. Turn the LRMs off, because... I mean, I guess there's no reason to turn them off. I could just... Oh, we got something. Got one of his arms. What's he going to do? He's going to get out of cover. That's not a good idea. Okay, finally got through the Shadowhawk's armor. Got hit on the left leg, so I'm going to go like this to hide the left leg away from him. Even though we're getting some misses now, we were so accurate earlier in the episode. I'm completely fine with that. Keep shooting. This mech is taking a lot of effort to kill. That's what I mean, like 700 armor. That's a lot of armor to go through.
Ready for orders. Heading out.
Oh, good. We can fire with all of our weapons. This is going to be a hard hit. If he hits. Yep.
Targets taking a crit. Yep.
Let me back up a little bit to get the missiles a better lock. Oh, that got him. I was wondering if that would be enough.
I hope we can salvage this.
Well, I would say that our mechs did just fine. The Centurion took up all the damage like I wanted, and now I think we have a very competent team of mechs for probably 1.5 to 2 skull missions. So the next episode I do, because I'm going to take a break after this, is I'm probably just going to do some of these missions on my own, try to look for some weapons to finish up the Quickdraw, and then the next episode I record will probably be another random mission, but with the Quickdraw actually in action. At any rate, oh, let's actually watch the looting. I'll take the Panther, because we can sell that. Panther's worth a decent amount of money to sell. I'll take a piece of the Griffin. And what about one of these weapons? I'll take an LRM-10. And what else did they give me? The PPC, and then a bunch of little miscellaneous stuff. Not too bad. I'll take it. The main thing is selling the Panther is going to be worth about 300,000 credits, or C-bills rather. But yeah, that's the end of this episode. I will see you in the next one, hopefully. Oh, looks like Lady Arano's contract is ready, but I don't want to do her story mission until the Quickdraw is up and running, and we don't have the weapons to properly equip the Quickdraw, so I don't want to do that.
Is back online.
Put you into storage. Yep, that's the end of this episode. Like I said, I will add more mech warriors over time. If you want me to adjust your character a bit, let me know. Remember that the customizations are not a big part of this game in terms of the physical appearances. But at any rate, that's the end of that. Like this video if it was entertaining, subscribe for future Battletech content, and of course, remember that you don't have to be good to get good.